As those of us in the first world continue to face further alienation, we have less money to deal with, and as jobs are not recovering, people are becoming more desperate to get a livable wage by which to go by. What kind of tactics should we use? What kind of tactics do people use in order to fight this struggle? Well, some hotel workers right now are asking that question and carrying it out right now. What they've done in Rhode Island is that they've gone on a hunger strike to block certain legislation. The city wants to raise the minimum wage beyond what it is for the state level. And right now they're trying to push through legislation that would block that from happening, meaning a city couldn't raise its minimum wage above what the state defines as the minimum wage. And this is preventing people from trying to raise their own wages. And what they felt was the right way to deal with this was to go on a hunger strike. The minimum wage in Rhode Island right now is $8 an hour. And what there might be increasing to $9 an hour soon. What these hotel workers want, and what the city, the Providence wants to do, is raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, the law states that you can't do that. It cannot go above the state, whatever the state defines as it, you can't go above. And they feel that this is the correct tactic that they have to take in order to fight that. Or they say they can't survive on $8 or even $9 an hour. But what do we see here? We see first world people and their beneficial position taking passive-aggressive acts by going on a hunger strike. And now think about what the third world does. They engage in violent armed struggle against their capitalist, their ruling class in their country. When we ask for a raise, we're talking about being able to afford a little bit more. When we fight, it's for a couple of dollars an hour to make things a bit more affordable. When they fight, it means the difference of being able to eat or not. When we lose a couple hours, it's an inconvenience and makes things a little bit harder. When they lose hours, it means the difference between whether they can eat or not. And I think that's very important to note in the difference between first world struggles and third world struggles. We take passive-aggressive acts. We'll hurt ourselves if you don't give us what we want. And in the third world, it's, I'm going to hurt you if you don't give us what we want. Because that is the difference in the struggle. These first world workers are only fighting for a little bit more because they can already get by. They just want to get by enough. But the third world workers, it's a difference of being able to whether or not they're going to eat, or whether or not they're going to be able to really do anything. And I think that really shows the difference in the tactics here. Although it can be perfectly seen that this is an extreme measure, going on a hunger strike. But think about what a hunger strike is. It's an act of aggression against the self. Now, the capitalist class doesn't care about you. You don't mean anything to them. I don't mean anything to them. We're just disposable labor commodities to them. Whether or not we live or die doesn't mean a damn thing to them. And what do? We threaten ourselves with violence. We threaten to hurt ourselves if they don't give us what we want. They're already hurting us. And our suffering is so minute compared to what's going on in the rest of the world. When the third world is threatened, and they take what is essentially violent action, even if it's just violence against yourself, it's still violence. When they take violent action, what do? They take the fight to the people who are responsible. And I think this shows the very big difference in the revolutionary potential of first world people and third world people. And that's something we need to understand when we're trying to look at who is revolutionary and who isn't, and whether or not the third world should overthrow us. Because we are the ones who are unwilling to fight. We lose a little bit, they lose a lot, and that's reflected in the actions that we take in worker struggles. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.